Last night in football, and yes, it's cold outside. You know, you probably see the fog in the rear view. So, windows up, defrost is off. That's all my heat and steam from my hot breath and the anger that's oozing off of me. I don't even have a team in the playoffs. The Falcons was eliminated well before postseason play. But when you put money on teams that you just know is going to win, and then they decide to play stupid football, yes. I'm going to say something about that. Now, listen, there's no secret, and y'all can go back to July, early August, before preseason. I had picked it. I had picked that there are going to be at least one or two teams going to the Super Bowl that never played the Super Bowl before. Detroit almost proved me right last night. But I want to address the AFC Championship game first, because I just did a NFC AFC Championship breakdown game a couple days ago with Sam the God and Jamie, two guys on my channel that's up and in my Discord, and of course Sam has his own channel, gaming channel. But he's a Ravens fan, and we talked about it. I picked the Ravens to win by a 5-point margin. Kansas City won by 7 points. And honestly, the Ravens did some stupid shit last night. Number one, I know the Ravens wanted to be aggressive. They wanted to punch Pat Mahomes in the mouth because, let's face it, Pat Mahomes has became the new Tom Brady. And so the Brady rules apply. Once you hit Pat Mahomes, you're going to get a flag. Let's not forget how he went to the Super Bowl last year. He got hit while going out of bounds by the Bengals for being over-aggressive. That put them in scoring range and pretty much essentially ended the game. And then the Eagles did the same thing, trying to get him before he go out of bounds. He loved running to that sideline, and people be trying to hit him before he goes out of bounds. He draws that attention. He's a pretty boy that's just be begging to get punched in the fucking mouth, you know. And I'm from Texas, you know, and he's a great athlete, you know, baseball and now football. He's a great athlete, great arm. But he just has that face that you just want to punch him in the mouth. So that's how they won the Super Bowl in the AFC Championship game last year. Yesterday, the Clowney and a couple other guys was trying to club him in the head. They was trying to go low and chop block him. They was doing stupid shit that was drawing unnecessary roughing flags on roughing the passer. Just alone, I think they got 3 different penalties on that. That's like 45 yards given to the Chiefs. You essentially gave them the game. Y'all couldn't contain Travis Kelce. You know he would have a big day. He had one against the Bills. He was just doing that to impress Taylor Swift. You know, Kansas City has essentially became the Taylor Swift team. All right. Fuck the Hunts. You know, they brought their trophy back, the Lamar Hunt trophy. That's the Hunt's family trophy. They won another one. What's that? 4 in the last 6 appearances? No, 3 in the last 6 appearances. They've been in the AFC Championship game 6 straight years and won 3 of them, right? Well, 4, because they went to the Super Bowl, beat San Francisco in, what was that, 2020? They went back in 2021 and lost to Tom Brady. They didn't make it in 2022. That was the Bengals and the Rams. 2023, they made it, and then they ended up beating the Eagles last year with the Eagles in Kansas City. All right, and now they're going back this year. So Pat Mahomes pretty much done won 2 of his last 3 Super Bowl appearances. All right, so he's the odds-on favorite to win. Now, Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers. I have no idea what Zay Flowers were thinking. He had a phenomenal day. But when you get into the end zone and you are trying to score, you have to watch tape. You know the chances of you getting the ball knocked out when you extend play like that, it's exponential. This isn't college. This is rookie mistakes. You should have took the tackle and then it'll let Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, or Lamar Jackson run that ball in. That could have been an Isaiah Likely or a Mark Andrews play, okay? Period. Bar none. That was 7 points right there that was guaranteed by the Ravens. And then on a, first and like 10 or like a second and like 10 or some shit, Lamar decides I'm going to go for broke and throw it in the double man coverage last night. And I had it intercepted. Who was throwing to, was it Dewberry or... It wasn't Zay Flowers, but whoever he threw that nuke to, he threw it behind the guy, and then it was picked off. It was picked off. That was stupid. You had, I think that was Mark Andrews right there, or Odell right there, 5 or 10 yards in front of you. You could do that 5 yards right there and had a third and manageable or second and manageable. I can't remember the first down play he threw that nuke or the second down. But it could have been more manageable. You would have been in field goal range as well. If I recall, you would have been in field goal range. So you beat yourself. You left points there that y'all could have got. Defense could have stepped up, got a stop, because the defense playing pretty decent football. You had an opportunity to win the game. Y'all just played reckless. John Harbaugh dialed up some plays, and it was just stupid. Y'all completely abandoned the run game. Y'all didn't get a run game established. Here is Pacheco, Isaiah Pacheco, coming off of a toe and foot injury, had a day with y'all. Ran up and down the field with y'all. An injured, one-legged, wounded Indian. Had his way with y'all. And Travis Kelce's already talking shit about just going to the Super Bowl and beating the 49ers. Because they done it before. But that was Jimmy Garoppolo and a whole different 49ers. And let me talk about them real quick. Let me LA Night this. Let me talk to you. Let me LA Night this. Yeah, let me talk to you. San Francisco proved last night that when you take the gas off of them, or you take your foot off the gas, that or take the foot off their necks, they're a force to be reckoned with. The Lions was playing good football, and then they pull what my team normally pull, and that's the Atlanta Falcons. They pulled a big old shit. Okay? Here the Lions is, I think it was like 4th and 1. Instead of you kicking the field goal, you go for it and get a turnover on downs. And then what happened? Brock Purdy, at this time, it's like fucking 21-7 or some shit like that. 24 to 0. It was some shit like that. No, 24-7. Brock Purdy, no, take that back. It was 24-3. Something like that. But anyway, Brock Purdy threw, no, 24-7, my bad, 24-7. Brock Purdy threw a nuke down the field. Almost got picked off. Brandon Ayuk got the ball. Very next play, they get a touchdown. Now it's 17-24. Okay? Dan Campbell and them get the ball right back. Jamar Gibbs get the ball punched out. Chris McCaffrey run the ball in. Now you got a tie football game. Dan Campbell get the ball back again. The line, they go in, and it's a turnover on downs or whatever. It was 3 and out. The Niners get the ball, go back down the field. They kick a field goal, made 27-24. It's 9 minutes left. Lions get the ball back, march all the way down the field, and on 4th and 3, or some shit like that. I know it was like 4th and 3, 4th and 4, some shit like that. In field goal range, Dan Campbell decides, fuck it, we're going to go for it. Because, you know, y'all didn't learn against the Dallas game when you're getting down the end zone, it's like 4th and 2, 4th and 3, just kick a fucking field goal. You have to take points. I can understand if it was fucking 2 minutes left and you didn't have a choice. You needed to get the first down to stay alive, right? I get it at that point. Fuck analytics. It's called playing smart football. 4th and 3, or 4th and 4, whatever it was, you go for it, didn't get nowhere. You essentially just killed the game. And then the Niners just took their sweet time. You already gave them good field position from the 35-yard line, some shit. They pretty much marched on down the field, ate the clock up, scored a touchdown, went up by 10 points. Because it was up by 3. If you would have tied it, now it's an even game. It's the best quarterback, the best play call, the best defense versus the best offense. You let the Niners eat the clock up. Well, Elijah Mitchell got the last touchdown that essentially just sealed the game. And then the Lions just crumbled at that point. That was by far the stupidest shit you could have did on a 4th down with that much time left. You should have tied the game. Anyone who ain't never watched football before that just kind of look at football would have asked the same question. Why didn't he take the 3 points and tie the game up? Because check it out. When you got back down there and you scored the touchdown and you kicked that field goal and it essentially became 31-34, if you would have took those 3 points from the get-go, actually, if you would have took the other field goal before then, before that fucking horrible Brandon Ayuk catch, it would have been 34-34, possibly 37-34. Now you giving the ball back to San Francisco. If you would have took those 2 field goals, by the way, now you're giving the ball back to San Francisco. They're down by 3 at this point. Guess what? Now the rookie has to get in field goal range to even have a chance to go in overtime. What do you think the rookie's going to do? He's going to try to throw the ball downfield as fast as possible. And we know when Brock Purdy has to throw under pressure like that, he normally throws interceptions. It's a proven fact. Y'all should have learned this shit with the Cowboys. That's essentially why the Cowboys beat y'all. Y'all outplayed yourselves. Now, the Super Bowl is set 2 weeks from now. Super Bowl 48, Las Vegas. Kansas City's going in there with the expectation that they're just going to run over San Francisco and maul them. Here's what Kansas City don't understand. Y'all had a hard time whooping the Ravens. The Ravens essentially gave y'all that game. The Bills essentially gave y'all that game. Okay, they missed field goal and some dumb shit that Josh Allen did. They gave y'all that game. Some shit that Sherman Durt dialed up. They essentially gave y'all that game. They gave you an interception in the end zone, and then Tyler Bass missed a field goal. They gave y'all that game. The Niners came back and scored like 21 points and completely dominated the third quarter. All right, with the Lions. Christian McCaffrey didn't play y'all when y'all played them 4 years ago. Deebo Samuel wasn't there. I don't think Brandon Ayuk was there. I remember it was Tevin Coleman, Matt Breida, Jimmy G. I think Kittle was there still. But the other receiving core was a little bit dim. I think Jaquan Jennings was still there, but they had 2 more receivers that really wasn't worth the fuck at that time. You got Brandon Ayuk, you have George Kittle, you have Deebo Samuel, you have Christian McCaffrey, you have a pretty damn good fucking quarterback who basically did something that nobody thought he would do within 2 years. All right, because this is his first 2 seasons that he actually played healthy. Remember, when the Eagles beat him 2 years ago, they beat a third-string quarterback to go to Super Bowl to play Kansas City. Okay? So, here we are now with a guy that learned that team. Here we are now with a defense that is healthy. Nick Bosa is a beast. Okay? Here we are going back to the Super Bowl. This is Kyle Shanahan's 3rd Super Bowl appearance in the last 8 years. Something like that. Yeah, 8 years. Because remember the 2016 season? Him and Matt LaFleur and the Falcons with fucking Dan Quinn. They went to the Super Bowl. It was shortly after that Kyle Shanahan went to San Francisco, and Matt LaFleur, shortly after another year or 2, went to Green Bay when Mike McCarthy went to Dallas. So, I find it hard to believe that Kyle Shanahan can go to his 3rd Super Bowl in 8 years, 2 in the last fucking 4 years, and lose. I don't see that happening. I really don't. So my advice to Kansas City is don't get too cocky. Don't get too confident. I expect San Francisco to do something janky to y'all ass. You know the old saying that Travis Kelce said, you have to fight for your right to party? Every time. Like I was saying, I get a call every time. Like I was saying. Travis Kelce always say you have to fight for your right to party. I think San Francisco gonna have a same they get done with your ass and the Kansas City Chiefs ass and Taylor Swift head's ass. And I think it's gonna be, in order to beat a man, you have to beat the man before you can party. Yeah. Don't forget, San Francisco got a lot more championships than the Chiefs. You beat them once. Can you do it twice? I find that hard to believe. So my predictions is San Francisco, 6th Super Bowl. They're going to get their 6th trophy. I think Brock Purdy's going to do something that's really going to be a big fuck you to Pat Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs, Mr. Irrelevant, the guy that was drafted very last in the draft like 4 or 5 years ago, the last guy in the draft in the last round. I think that he's going to do something very spectacular. And I also believe that they're going to win by at least 10 points. Kansas City's secondary has always been garbage. Okay, it's been garbage. And if you can run on them, that's even worse. If you can run on them and throw on them, you got them. You got. If the Bills would have had Gabe Davis, right? This is what I'm about to say. If the Bills would have had Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs healthy at the same time, with that run game with Dalvin Cook's brother, I can't remember the name, Justin Cook, Dalvin Cook's brother, as well as the way Josh Allen can run, with those two dangerous tight ends, Kincaid and Knox, if they would have had all their elements, the Bills would have beat Kansas City. I'm telling you that for facts. They would have whooped Kansas City. Kansas City barely won that game. Understand what I'm saying? They barely won. Just imagine if Gabe Davis would have been playing and Josh Allen would have another option to throw to. I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm not saying that people didn't step up, but if he would have had big time Gabe, you know what he can do when you double cover Stephon Diggs. So who are you going to cover? That's all I'm saying. So San Francisco to win by 10. In 2 weeks, we'll know. And if Kansas City wins again, then guess what? If the AFC don't know how to deal with them, they're going to win again. They're going to keep on going to the Super Bowl. They're going to keep on going to the Super Bowl. The AFC, y'all got to tighten up on them. The Broncos should have won that division. I'm just going to be blunt. Broncos had a chance to take that whole division. Kansas City, it became the Patriots. They just pretty much, the Patriots for a long time dominated the AFC East until Josh Allen came around. And then that's when Tom Brady finally said, you know what, I can't win this division more, so I'm going somewhere else. He came to this division for a couple of years. And he took Tampa Bay to a Super Bowl. Because our division was easy. It was easy. The AFC West, that's a hard division because you got to beat that guy. He's on top of the division. He owns it. So it is what it is. It's just facts. Until somebody can knock him off that pedestal out there on the West and actually win a division and make them a wild card team instead of a division leader team, to where they got to travel throughout the whole playoffs, most likely. This the first time he had to travel to a division round and an AFC championship round, and he won them both. Barely, but they won them. A win's a win. So until somebody put Pat Mahomes them in their place in the AFC, they're going to do that. It's just like San Francisco. This is their fourth NFC championship game. The fourth. They went in 2020 to the Super Bowl. 2022, they got back there and they lost to the Rams. 2023, they got back there and they lost to the fucking Eagles. They got back there last night and lost to the Lions. That was 3 years right there in a row. They almost got there in 2021, but they lost to Tom Brady, I recall. They lost to Tom Brady on the road, or I think they lost to Green Bay. But it was close to the division round. They would have went back in 5 years in the fucking row. We getting tired of San Francisco too. But until the NFC can step up and beat them, and the Lions had their number last night. Right? The Eagles beat them last year, but that was just technicality. Year for that, the Rams got them. But still, they're making all these appearances in the NFC, just like Kansas City. They done been there 6 straight times, and they won fucking 3 of them now. 3 of them. Because this is Pat Mahomes' third Super Bowl in 4 years. They won 3 of them. 3 of them in a row. 3. Well, they won 3 AFC championships in the last fucking 4 years. If I'm adding up right, they won in 2021, 2020, and they just won this one this year. And they won last year. They won last year. So they won 2020, 2021, they went back to back, right? They won last year, they beat the Bengals, and they just beat the Ravens last night. They done won 4 AFC championships in 6 years. 6 years. The Bengals barely beat them 2 years ago, all right? That would have been 5. And then the Patriots got them in, what was that, 2019. Tom Brady got him in 2019, some shit like that. And let me see, they went 2021, 2020, they went 2022 Bengals, 2023, they beat the Bengals to go back, and then this year, and then 2019. Yeah. So they've been to 6 and won 4. And out the 4 wins, Pat Mahomes won 2 Super Bowls. So, but that's the AFC problem. They have to deal with that. So, you know, maybe this year we'll finally get something else different, you know. But until then, it's gonna be the same old. San Francisco's gonna be going back again, and then Kansas City get back in there again. You have to build the divisions up to where you have them football teams. That's why when this new rule shit happened, where you can't do certain shit, you can't challenge, you can't do certain shit, you can't even pop the quarterback. That's why these same teams keep getting back. Go back to the early 90s and the middle 90s. I mean, it was the Cowboy era, but listen, after that, look how many different teams went to the Super Bowl until the Patriots era started. But even then, for a while, it was hard for the same teams to be playing the Patriots in the Super Bowl. It was hard. The only team that played them back in 2 Super Bowls was the Giants. Other than that, different teams in the NFC were stepping up to play Patriots. And then the rules just became baby rules after that, to where you can't even blow on a quarterback and the flag get thrown out. Start dialing back some of these restrictions to where you can actually play some damn football, and you watch how many teams start going to the Super Bowl and shit. Right now, it's just restricted. And you got a lot of veteran players that like to play football, and they can't do what they normally do. They get a flag thrown on them. Some of that shit happened to Pat Mahomes last night wouldn't have been a flag 5 or 6 years ago. That would have been a normal hit on quarterback. Now, the way you popped them last night, that's a flag. And that type of flag give you 15 yards. That's another first down automatically most times. So you're essentially getting a new set of downs, play with 4 new chances to get to the goddamn end zone. You're beating yourself at that point. So that's my prediction. San Fran for the win 2 weeks. Hope you all enjoy. It's me, boy, Savar Matner. I am out, guys. Peace.